Okay, let's talk about it. So I'm going to do this in parts. Twin pregnancy, then I'm like pregnancy, and then I'm going to do twin birth story, and then I'm going to do Imogen pregnancy and birth story, because everything is so completely different and recovery wise as well. So my journey to becoming pregnant was quite stressful. I have always wanted to become a mum, and I actually went to the doctors when I was 30. Wish I went earlier, and I said I needed to test my AMH levels, which was your AMH. Is it AMH? Or is that your pregnancy hormone? Anyway, you go to the doctor and they test your levels of your egg count, and mine was extremely low. Mine was telling me that I was a 40-year-old set of ovaries rather than a 30-year-old. So that was a bit alarming for me. And because I want a big family, I want a lot of kids, then they were like, you probably should go down the IVF route to freeze eggs and get some stored away, because you're most likely going to go into early menopause, and if you want a big family, you need to start now. So a little bit stressful, but we then started an IVF round. So we went straight into it. I think it was like 2 days later. I was like, let's go, let's start. We raced into the city, got all the medication, and basically started injecting hormones that night. Now, anyone that's gone through the IVF process knows how stressful it is. Not only the needles, the hormones, it's the appointments that stress me out, because you have to go into every single appointment at a certain time. Sometimes you have to be at 2 appointments, like you have to go through like a internal ultrasound, and you've got to have a blood test that same day. And like when you're working, running a business, trying to get out of work in those peak times that have to be in the morning as well, because you need your results back by lunchtime to see if you need to up your medication or whether you're ready to go in to go get your egg collection. So it was just like, that was the most stressful part for me, was just like finding time and getting the getting everything organized. Anyway, so we did one full round of collection. We went to collection and I think we got 11 eggs and we got 3 embryos. So a lot of people say how, like, if you get 20 eggs, halve it, and then like even a quarter of that. That's like really good. So we got 3 A and B grade embryos, and I was obviously very impatient. Was just like, nope, let's put one in straight away. So I think you did the egg retrieval, and like 2 or 3 days later, because you're doing it through ovulation, you do it 5 days later, you put a 5-day embryo in. And that was a really easy process. You literally go in and it's like 2 seconds and they put it in, and you're like, okay, am I pregnant? Am I not pregnant? So like the mental mind fuck around that was intense, because you're like, okay, well, I have an embryo inside me, and is it going to connect to the wall? Is it not? What do I do? Like, so I did the Macca's chips, I did the eating the pineapple, I did the lifting the legs, like I did everything. I was like, I want to give myself every opportunity to make this work. Anyway, so unfortunately the first round didn't work. When we got the call, we were sitting on the couch. They give you a call and say, sorry, it's not been successful. When do you want to start your next round? And I think we had a month off. We didn't go straight back into it. We had a rest, and then we did another cycle the next month. And when we had that meeting before, they were like, when you're going through this cycle, please do not have intercourse, because you have a high risk of conceiving twins. Now, I love that. I want twins. I wanted twins, and my whole life I grew up with a set of twins, and they had the best friendship, and I was like, I would love my kids to have that connection with each other, because it just is so, so special. So I was always for it. I'm like, twins, okay, Tim, come on, let's go. So I was not safe during that month, and when we got the call to say we were pregnant, we were over the moon. So I think you get the call at 4 weeks, and then you get your scan at 6-7 weeks. So we knew we were pregnant for 3-4 weeks until we had our first scan. Now at week 4 or 5, I rang my nan, and I was like, Nan, I just think I'm having twins. I'm really sick. I have really bad nauseous. I couldn't stand up. I was really, really bad. And I was like, this intense feeling, it doesn't feel like singleton pregnancy. Anyway, I had a bleed which I thought I was having a miscarriage. So we went into the doctor and had some blood tests done. And so you have blood tests done that day and then 2 days later to just make sure that that pregnancy hormone is increasing. And it was rapidly. It was like triple, quadrupled. It was right up the top. And I was like, there's definitely 2 babies in there. So I told my mom, I told my nan, I told everyone. I was like, there's twins in here. Absolutely. Anyway, we went to our first scan and she was like, hang on a minute. And she like stopped for a second and I was like, there's twins in there, isn't there? And she was like, yeah, there's 2 babies. I was like, yay. And she was so concerned. She was like, maybe I should go like get another sonographer just to double check. And I was like, no, this is right. So I was over the moon. I was so excited. And then after that scan, it was just, you have your regular scans. You're treated like a regular patient until about 30 weeks. And then you are classified as a high risk. So you have more scans and your scans take double the amount of time. So the anatomy scan, it usually takes an hour and a half. And this one took 3 hours. So it was pretty intense. But the whole journey there was just incredible. The fact that we conceived naturally and we conceived through IVF in the same month was just wild. And if you follow me and look at my twins, they are so completely different, chalk and cheese. It's literally like 2 separate babies growing in the belly. They're fraternal twins. They had their own sacs. They had their own placenta. They both were tracking really, really well. So that was my journey to conceiving twins. And the next video, I'll go through the pregnancy and the birth.